Welcome everyone to the Side Drive Podcast. Welcome to another race review today. The Cup Series race from Las Vegas, getting the playoffs kicked off, and Martin Truex Jr. was able to clinch his spot in the next round, which
the very first one to get locked into the next round of playoffs, and good for that team.
Well, I thought he would do that anyway. With 4 wins before Las Vegas, making it a 5th this week, but had a pretty good cushion.
Yeah, he's always been really good at the mile and a half, so it just fits right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, before the race, him and Kyle were the ones I was really concerned about towards the playoffs, because they seemed like they dropped off in speed. But Martin Truex Jr. definitely showed a lot of speed, while Kyle Busch, we'll get to him in a minute. He did a lot of things this weekend. I know Martin Truex Jr. did a lot of things by winning, but Kyle Busch did a lot of things as well.
Yes, pretty eventful for both of them, I guess.
So Clint Bowyer on the pole, exactly 12 years from the last time he got his last pole, so that's a little superstitious there.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, he started the playoffs pretty well. Start off the pole, and he races his way in to get into the playoffs, and here he is, gets the pole.
Then his Haas teammates followed him by being 1 through 4 in the starting positions. Daniel Suarez would end up passing Clint Bowyer very early on. And then here's that where we start talking about Kyle Busch in the wall on lap 6. So it didn't look like it would be that bad, but he went down pit road anyway and lost a lap.
Yeah, because they really didn't want to cut a tire or anything, but he did have some damage on the whole right side of the car.
And then Eric Almirola will take the lead, but shortly after that, Joe Logano coming from like 21st, 22nd, somewhere in there, and just zooming past the competition, already up to the lead, and he would win stage 1.
Yeah, his car was pretty hooked up early on. They hit the right setup at that moment in the race, and he was just Superman pretty much.
In stage 2, Harvick would win the race off pit road. It'd be Harvick versus Logano. Eric Jones would be slow on the track, and he would go into the garage. And not a good first race in the playoffs. Gibbs, they had potential or have potential to get all 4 cars in the final 4, but they're not going to do it by racing like they did.
Yes, something happened to the transmission, and he got stuck in second. He really couldn't get going, so they took it to the garage, and I don't think they could fix it or something.
Yeah, I think they ended up getting back out there, but it was already too late to really be competitive. So that's really unfortunate for him. But Joe Logano would lead off pit road after that caution. Then Truex would catch Logano late into the stage. He would pass Logano using some lap cars. Lap cars seem to be the big issue of the race.
Yeah, lap cars have really been the biggest issue all season, pretty much. They're always in the way. They don't. I know they're fighting for their life, trying to stay on that lead lap or 5 laps down or whatever it is. But they don't want to go another lap down, and they just trying to fight their way. But a lot of times they're just in the way.
And then Truex will win the race off pit road. In stage 2, it seemed like the Chevys were pretty strong, but Kyle Larson would get a penalty for a safety violation. He was running up in 3rd position. I think Larson could have had the race win if he would have stayed out there, but unfortunately had to go to the back of the field.
Yeah, I ain't sure if the guy actually touched the ground.
Yeah,
he was like touching the tire, but
he might have touched the tire or touched the ground. So I don't know. We didn't really get all the angles there, but considered a safety violation, which you can kind of understand that.
Yeah, he could have got hurt. I hate it for Kyle Larson. I mean, he's running real well, and he's doing good. I mean, it's like something like all weekend. You got one car that's running real well, and it's always penalties.
Yeah, and the rest of the weekend, that was the best strategies to be that one car that was running real well, and ended up didn't work for Larson like it did for the other two.
No, it sure didn't.
All right, so next up, Chase Elliott would take the lead on Martin Truex Jr. A lot of aggression on these restarts. They'd really quiet down after a lap or two, but the restarts were awesome.
Yeah, I thought Chase, he had a very good car. He was very competitive, and there he went off for the lead right there. So he was looking pretty good early on.
And then William Byron get a tire rub because Ryan Blaney would get loose trying to do the side draft. There's only room for one side draft in the world, so
yeah, we do it better. Yeah, he was trying to get the side draft, and I ain't sure it was loose. His car got real loose, and just rubbed the tire a little bit and cut it down.
And then around he goes. William Byron would spin around. It'd still be pretty competitive after that, but he had a strong run going on.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional to hit him like that, but
Blaney didn't mean
but that's the way this package is you got to get that side draft to slow the other car down so you can pass. That's about the only way pretty much to pass. And
Blaney needs to watch us.
yeah,
Be the best.
Come on here.
If you subscribe to the Side Draft podcast, you can do better side drafts.
Yeah.
Or the luck of the side draft will be on your side. Then Blaney and Hamlin and a couple other people would take two tires on the next caution. Blaney would take the lead from Denny Hamlin, and but Harvick, he would just jump out of nowhere, and as soon as Blaney took the lead, Harvick took it away from him. So Blaney got to celebrate taking the lead for half a millisecond, it seemed like.
Yeah. And he's like, I got the lead. Oh, dadgummit.
Yeah, I think he made some contact with Hamlin trying to get that pass on, but then would have a caution for Kurt Busch in the wall, and right now Kurt Busch is underneath the cutoff line, so he's on the chopping board right now. So he needs to.
Yeah, I mean that's like we're going like 4 wide right there, and that was just pretty insane. And I know Joey and Suarez got into it a little bit.
Yep.
Logano, I believe, he had one of the best cars besides Truex out there. He's going to the high side, and Suarez just kind of ramming the wall, and then later on he's trying to pass on the low side, and there's Suarez again. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, and then I think Chase Elliott got some damage from Kurt Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. just a tad bit for Truex, but not too much.
Yeah, many of these restarts and stuff is real tight, and they try to get every position they can, and I think Kurt Busch got the worst end of it.
I know one thing, Homestead's going to be crazy this year with the way the restarts go. If we have a lot of cautions at Homestead, the championship could be decided on one little restart, and so that's going to be insane.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Logano got some damage there. Just wasn't as good after that. Then Harvick would take the lead. He would get up to like a 4-second lead, but Truex had a better, longer run car. Harvick got really tight on the longer run. So that was just one of those things. It's like if there was a late race caution, it would have been Harvick getting the win. Long race, long run there at the end, it would have been Truex. And, that was the case there. And I don't know what they did, but Truex, they just had a rocket this weekend.
Yeah, I ain't sure if the lap traffic went into play again. It kind of slowed Harvick down. I mean, I know Truex is faster. They probably caught him anyway, but the lap traffic really played a role in that pass.
Speaking of lap traffic playing a role. Let's talk about Kyle Busch and his little I don't know what you would call that.
Incident?
A little incident, accident, raising the premium.
Yeah, Kyle Busch, they don't quit. They went 2 laps down, and through strategy and stuff, he got his 2 laps back and got back on the lead lap, and he was very competitive. I mean, he was coming through the field like crazy, and then lap traffic got in the way.
Yeah, I mean, the lap traffic was running their line. It's just that, you had William Byron. If Kyle would have followed William Byron, he would have crashed into William Byron. If he would have, if he would have went in that middle lane, that would have worked. I think it was just a spotter miscommunication there. As Kyle said, his spotter said, he was going through either the middle or the high line, and Kyle just chose the wrong lane.
Yeah, I mean, these spotters need to communicate a little better with the other spotters. It's like, okay, he's going to high line or whatever it is. Just a little bit of respect out there. I ain't sure. It's like, I know it's a racing deal, but that's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard hit. It wasn't, because you can't hit the brakes and miss the guy because, that will lose all your momentum. You're going to lose a bunch of spots either way. I think Kyle was just thinking, I need to push this guy throughout the corner, but I realized he was going way too slow for that, and then just messed the whole front end up. And then I believe he had another incident with Joey Gase just a few laps later and lost even more positions. So lap car is definitely a bigger deal now, since if you can't really slow down for some of these guys.
Yeah, but if he got up to about 6 or something, six or 8, and on these lap cars, it just pushed him further back. So it's like, I said, where did Kyle go?
Yeah, ended up finishing 19th after all that. So really, that struggle to get back on the lead lap really, it really was for nothing at the end. I mean, he gained probably like 7 positions from that, but really unfortunate because he could have finished in the top 10 and even top 5 probably.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of their hometown area. The Busch families, they have a very good weekend. But
yeah, I mean, a lot more pressure at home, to do well. And Kurt Busch hasn't even won there and ended up getting crashed. And Kyle Busch, he's won there once before, so just not a lot of luck there for them in Vegas.
Yeah, used to the older races, that might have 1 or 2 grooves, and then the lap traffic would move out of that racing groove, let the leaders go on. But nowadays, it's like, you got different lines and different grooves. Some run the high line, some run the low line, the middle line. So now the lap traffic don't know where to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you get out of the way for one guy, you're going to be smashing into somebody else. So, because Alex Bowman was coming up on the high line, so if Garrett Smithley would have, tried going the high line, he would have crashed into Bowman. So really, that was the only option he had. I think Kyle just picked the wrong line there.
Probably so.
But yeah, then after that, we had some interesting interviews. Kyle went on to beat Kyle, I guess you could say. And it's really interesting. It's really funny every time he gets upset because he goes on Twitter and basically all night just about tearing some fans apart. So that's really entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame Kyle, really. I mean, you got a rough night. You get in the wall, you get 2 laps down. You fight your way all the way up to the top 10, and then you get, lap traffic just screws your day up, and you're frustrated, and then you get out of the car, and he asks you ridiculous question, it's like the same questions, like stupid questions, I guess, I mean, I see his point.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see the point on everybody. I don't really blame anyone. Because, I mean, if I was that upset after a race, I mean, anyone talking to me would really, nerve me up. And, I wouldn't want to sit there and answer a bunch of questions I don't want to answer. And you can't blame the media either because, I mean, that's their job. They got to think of questions on the fly, really. So, it's just one of those things,
Yes, I had a bad night. Didn't do very well. No, you're going to get the truth. If you ask Kyle Busch, he's going to give you the truth. He's going to give you feelings. You want emotions? Here it is.
Yeah, so was an interesting weekend for Kyle Busch, and he was your pick to win, so
Yeah. Sorry.
your bad
gave
luck
him-
continues.
gave him a
But
curse.
speaking of other people's picks, Emily picked Martin Truex Jr. to win her first win on side draft.
Get
So
off of here now. Just get off here now.
my pick was Kevin Harvick, so I came just short. Finished second in the Xfinity race as well, so I'm never going to get a win.
Martin Truex didn't fail me today.
All right, so yeah, congratulations to Martin Truex Jr. and Joe
And
Gibbs
me.
Racing, and you for just putting on a clinic. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but they just had a strong car.
I'm
Yeah.
going to the playoffs.
Yeah, they come through the field very well. It was a good. I mean, it was a fun race, and Kyle Busch he come in as the points leader and had that little cushion. I mean, he didn't really lose too many points.
Yeah, he's got about a half a race cushion now when it was a full race. So if he does anything like that at Richmond or the Roval and doesn't get a win, he could be alarmed. But I don't really think so, especially in the first round. So it's just really don't let that get to you and just drive like normal at Richmond, which he's pretty good there. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, it seems like this year the intensity level was a little bit higher than normal. They really fight for every little bit they can. I believe these cars is harder to drive now, so they got to fight harder for every little spot.
All right, so when we look at the points right now, we have Eric Jones, who is 75 points out of the lead, which really doesn't matter there. Okay, right over here he's actually 26 points out of the playoffs right now, so not necessarily needing a win, but most likely.
Yeah, more likely he's going to need a win. I think he does very well at Richmond. You got the Roval coming up. That's going to be a tough race for everybody. Yeah, he's got to win in Richmond pretty much.
And Clint Boyer's also below the cut line, 21 points out. He's most likely going to need a win. I think he could definitely win Richmond, though.
Yeah, he kind of fits his style.
And Kurt Busch, 14 points out. That's doable. I think, still a little bit of a stretch, but I think, 2 races, that's not really anything to be alarmed about, especially with it being Kurt Busch. A lot of talent and past champion as well. And Ryan Newman in the 6th, he is 13th, just 6 points out. So, that's doable. But Ryan Newman, if he can stay consistent, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He won't be on the chopping board.
And then just above it, you have Eric Almirola with 6, Alex Bowman with 10 above, Ryan Blaney with 12, William Byron with 13, Larson with 17, and everyone else above that, they're kind of safe, like with Hamlin, Elliott, Keselowski, Busch, Logano, and Harvick. They got a bit of a good cushion there, so I think unless something happens like a blown tire or some sort of penalty or mechanical issue, they'll be fine.
Yep.
Alright, so hope you all enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for why you should vote for Noah Gragson as most popular driver. That'll be out on Wednesday, and then I think that will actually be our 200th episode, so that's...
Yeah, be sure to go out there and vote for the most popular drivers.
Yes, that's going to be a big thing for us, our 200th episode, and so 200 episodes of us.
Wow.
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more videos throughout the week.